The man was dealing the cards when, in the next instant, his finger was suddenly snapped by Jotaro. Abdul, witnessing this, was completely shocked. Jotaro then explained that Darby had been cheating while dealing the cards, secretly giving himself a second card. It was something the average person could never catch with the naked eye. In fact, just moments earlier, Darby had already turned Jotaro's friend into 2 coins through cheating. To prevent Darby from cheating again, Jotaro had a child from the top of the mountain deal the cards. Seeing Jotaro so serious, Darby decided to get serious himself. The game resumed, and both players were dealt 5 cards. After checking their hands, Darby chose to exchange 2 cards, while Jotaro decided to exchange 3. The stakes were raised to half a soul. 1 soul could be exchanged for 6 coins, and at this point, Darby had 12 coins, while Jotaro only had 6. The cards were revealed. Jotaro had a pair of 8s and a pair of 9s, but Darby's hand was just slightly better. In a single round, Jotaro lost half his soul. As the next round began, Darby, after looking at his cards, decided to exchange 1, only to realize that Jotaro hadn't even looked at his own hand. Furious, Darby felt insulted and began to lash out at Jotaro. However, Jotaro ignored him completely, instead pushing Abdul's soul into the bet. This made Darby even angrier. He ordered the child to hurry up and exchange the cards, and when he received his new hand, he found it was even stronger. What he didn't expect, however, was that the child was actually one of Darby's subordinates, and every person in the room was a part of Darby's crew. Seeing his unbeatable hand, Darby was sure the child had followed his orders and dealt Jotaro the 5 worst cards. He was certain he couldn't lose, so he wagered all his chips. But when Jotaro saw this, he remained calm. In an instant, he lit a cigarette. Darby was stunned. He wondered if Jotaro could really switch all 5 of his cards that quickly and make them stronger than his own. His body began to tremble uncontrollably. Looking at his cards, he realized there were only 3 hands that could beat his. Then, suddenly, he noticed that Jotaro had somehow replaced the cigarette with a drink. Fear began to creep in, and Darby decided he needed to reveal his cards quickly to end the game. However, Jotaro chose to raise the bet instead. Darby, frozen in fear, was speechless. He now knew for sure that Jotaro had swapped the cards, but he didn't give up. Instead, he decided to wager his own soul to face Jotaro in a final showdown. At that moment, his body went out of control, his breath became heavy and rapid, and finally, he collapsed onto the table, unable to continue the game.